Good evening, we Martians. We're here because there is talk going around that we wanted to tell you is just talk. Have you ever heard the saying, Rome wasn't built in one day? Well, movies aren't produced overnight, and here at Weimar Academy Media, we can especially relate to that. Our job has been one of ups and downs and sight and sounds, and you may say, why haven't I seen anything that you guys have produced yet? Well, the truth is, we've been saving it for this very special night, tonight. So tonight will be a night of humor. It'll be a night of memories, pleasant and unpleasant times, dark times that molded our characters, and bright times that helped frame our high school experience. This production is a series of smaller films, documentaries, and slideshows, all weaved together by your hosts. But before we go there, we wanted to show you life in the studio.
When you have a production, you have 6 questions you have to deal with. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. One of our first projects was to make a promotional video for Weimar Academy. The purpose was to inform people of what Weimar was about and to attract the right people to the school. That wasn't too hard.
One of the unique things about Weimar Academy is...
One of the things I think is really special about Weimar Academy is the family-style atmosphere. It sounds like a buffet when I just said that.
For some reason I seem to forget the word when it comes to me.
Also at Weimar Academy Media, we are very poor. We do not have any cameras of our own, so we had to depend upon the media department. For some reason, they seem to always be busy.
Hey, we were wondering if we could use the cameras.
According to the schedule, oh yeah, we're packed. Maybe next year?
Hey JV, we finally got a camera. It took us all year, but we were wondering if you could come help us. JV? Location is a very important part of a production. If your location is bad, it can completely destroy your work. Trust me.
We've had struggles, delays, and a whole lot of criticism, but tonight we're ready to present to you a masterpiece that has been 9 months in the making. That's right, 9 months. Our Battle Lines episode, Bolivia mission trip video, slideshows, dorm videos, and a ton of unseen footage have been in production, and tonight they're ready. So now we present to you 2 very different men. One is an eccentric fellow from the far province of Ontario. He is Canadian. And the other, well, we're not really sure what he is, but you'll figure that out. And so without further ado, please welcome Professor and Beaver.
Jordan, what are we doing? We're doing the end of the year show full. How do you eat one of those? You don't. Oh wow. Whoa, look out there. There's a lot of people. There really isn't. Oh yeah, they all got expelled. You ready? Do we have a script?
Good evening and welcome to the end of the year show. My name is Joshua Subit,
My name is Jordan Putt.
and we will be your hosts for tonight's
Show.
Yeah. We have a slideshow prepared for you that'll take you through the beginning of the year until end of the year. End of the year.
Enjoy.
lost. I need to find my way to New Start and cure myself of this horrible disease. Unfortunately, due to the nature of my disease, I've lost my British accent. We have here one of the most dangerous creatures of the forest. It's called a squirrel. Let's get closer. You have to be very cautious when approaching the creature's nest. Oh, look here. There's a pine cone. Ow! Oh! I learned to read Irish off the back of a cereal box. What? This is English. I really need to make a fire right now because it's getting really hot. It works just like this. If you look over here, there's all this destruction, and it's been caused by homework. Every day, people use paper in magazines and newspapers, and especially in homework. It's a horrible thing that teachers have done. That was an extremely dangerous encounter with some of the wildlife. But luckily, I got this. It's a toothbrush. I should have stayed home like my mom said. My arm's stuck in this rock. I need to use my knife to cut it off.
What's wrong?
Miss G gave me a D+ my English final.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Chris and I took care of it.
Dude, don't you think that was a little extreme?
No, why?
I don't know.
Extreme.
I think kind of twisted. I could see getting mad, but blowing up her car, that's backwards, man.
Yep. That's backwards for it was necessary.
What?
Diaz wasn't at class today. Do you know where he was?
I don't know. I haven't seen him. He's been in his room like all school year.
I wonder what he's doing. You gotta admit the end of the year is getting pretty tough on most of us. With the seniors leaving, people going to different schools, signing yearbooks, emotional times. But we'll get through this.
Dude,
Patrick, what?
it may be tough. I know something that's definitely tougher.
There's nothing tougher.
Yeah, there is. Weimar French toast. I have to hand it to you, man. Breaking 4 forks on a piece of French toast.
I didn't even know I could.
I wonder what Mr. Kelly makes those things out of.
I don't know, some like Area 51 recipe, you know.
Yeah.
Secret, top
Well-
secret.
Only military people are allowed in Area 51.
You think he was in the military?
He could have been, I don't know. Well, that explains everything.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, no, right, Mr. Kelly? But seriously, we've been eating that stuff all year, but it doesn't feel like that long, does it?
No, it doesn't. Like at the beginning of the year, there was registration, then army camp, semester. That all went by like super fast, and now we're already at the end of the school year.
That's crazy.
Huh.
It went by fast, but probably not as fast as my roommate.
One of the greatest memories that we had here at Weimar Academy was the skiing trips. Thank you, Mr. Boyd, for that.
Yeah, they were certainly great. It really reminded me of the motherland. You know, the motherland? The land of perpetual ice and snow? All I needed was a couple Eskimos and polar bears, and I would have felt right at home.
Really?
Good morning, America. Breaking news. Just moments ago, scientists digging in the Caribbean found tunneling Asians. Many scientists believe that this phenomenon has been caused by global warming. Here we have amateur footage of it actually occurring. We did not make this up.
Can you really get to China?
In other news, in Beijing, reports have been heard of Americans popping out of holes in the sand. We don't know how long they've been digging, but archaeologists estimate that they've been digging since the phrase was popular back in the 1960s. Reporting live for Weimar News Network, this is Jordan Putt. And so, the last trip of the school year happened. And then we entered the last frontier. Just kidding. No, we entered the last home stretch of school right before graduation. And then, on a lighter note, now we're going to wind back the clock to March. Does anybody remember what happened in March? Yeah, that's right. Mission trips. Now, mission trips was probably one of the highlights of my year. It was really cool to see God working down there in Bolivia, and I'm sure He did in Utah as well. So, I hope you enjoy this next video of mission trip memories.
Bienvenidos a bordo del vuelo de American Airlines 922 con destino a Miami. La tripulación para el vuelo de hoy está formada por el capitán David Kinney, quien está siendo asistido por el primer oficial Morgan Kyle. Mi nombre es Mariana Lewin y soy la coordinadora del vuelo. Si hay algo que pueda hacer para asistirlo, les pido que me lo dejen saber. De Santa Cruz a Miami, nuestro tiempo de vuelo será de 6 horas y 27 minutos a una altitud de 33.000 pies. En Miami en este momento el tiempo se presenta parcialmente nublado, la temperatura es de 75 grados Fahrenheit, 24 centígrados. Y ahora les pido su atención a las pantallas de video ubicadas a lo largo de la cabina para un mensaje sobre las características de seguridad.
Hi, my name is Jordan Putt, and I am one of the many privileged students who have been given the opportunity to go labor for God in His harvest. Right now, we're traveling to Santa Cruz, Bolivia. We still got a big journey ahead of us. In a few hours, we'll be landing in Santa Cruz, and from there we'll get on a bus and travel 9 hours through the night to Trinidad, Bolivia. We're going to be pretty tired, but God's with us, and so we have nothing to fear as long as we trust completely in Him. Bolivia is a land of many different regions. To the south there's mountains, and to the north there's jungles. The temperatures can range from a cold mountain climate to sweltering heat and humidity in the jungles. The country itself, however, is more than just the land. People of native descent make up most of the large, although very poor population. Bolivia is currently the poorest and the least developed country in South America. 59% of the population lives in poverty and 24% live in extreme poverty. A recent study reported that over 230 babies die in Bolivia each day due to health problems. A significant portion of Bolivians don't even have access to proper health care. A good majority of Bolivians are Roman Catholic. Protestant denominations and the traditional Inca religions are expanding rapidly. 2001 survey found that 78% of the population is Roman Catholic, 16% is Protestant, and 3% represent other Christian denominations. Seventh-day Adventism represents only 0.7% of the entire populace. Weimar Academy saw a great need in Bolivia. Matthew 28 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit." So, we did. So, we finally arrived at the school on Thursday afternoon. As I stepped off the truck, I wasn't completely sure what to expect. Thatch roof buildings, Bolivian people, and a whole bunch of stuff I had never seen were everywhere. Our first task was to get the luggage and get settled. The house that we were going to stay in was completely overcrowded. I mean, we had 12 people in a shack meant only for a few people. Then we ate our first meal there, which was actually surprisingly good. The next day, we woke up bright and early to have our time with God. We would have a worship, and then one of the students would give a devotional thought, and then after that we ate breakfast. Often it was pretty hard to get up, but you had to anyway because there was a lot of work to do. Afterward, we went to work doing different tasks. In Bolivia, many necessary tools are really hard to find and almost impossible to get. At the school, there were a lot of projects to accomplish. The school has a farm where they grow rice and yucca. Since we were there, they had us help them harvest. It was a lot of work, but we were actually able to get quite a bit accomplished. We also needed to bend rebar for the pillars of the church. That's what I did most of the time, but I also occasionally went to the work site. What the work site was basically just a clearing in the jungle next to the road. There were big piles of sand and gravel on the ground that were for making concrete. We dug the footings and then we poured them and then we set up the rebar columns. The church building there is really needed because the chapel there at the school is quite small, and if their group continues to grow, they'll run out of room. A church in the community is essential. After work, we would eat supper and then a few of us would go to the meetings. At the meetings, things would begin with a song service and then they would transition into a health talk before the main sermon. We covered a lot of health topics like charcoal, how to deal with colds or drinking water, sunlight, and many other New Start principles. Afterwards, Evan would begin the sermon. He covered topics on key Adventist doctrines like the Sabbath, death, prophecies, the law, as well as salvation. Then on the last night, he preached about heaven, and at the end of his sermon had an altar call for those interested in baptism and giving their life to Christ.
This mission trip has helped me to see the contrast between how we live in America and how people live in other countries. In America, we have a lot of luxuries that the people here don't have. But in America, we have a lot of things to do, places to go, and it sort of takes up our life, and the focus isn't on God. And here, I think it's really amazing that the people, they love God and they work and they get this gratitude that they take wherever they go, and everything they do, they have a passion for it.
The mission trip to Bolivia has made me realize all the luxuries that we do have in the United States, because in Bolivia they don't have much. For example, like they take showers and wash their clothes in the river and don't get much to eat for every meal of the day. And when I came back to the States, it kind of made me realize, wow, we've got all of this stuff and we're still not grateful.
The biggest lesson that I learned is you can't get through the day God's way without God's help and His power. And the only way you can obtain His power is by doing devotions and by a constant connection with Him. And essentially what we're doing on these mission trips is we're going into devil's territory, taking back what he thinks he owns and turning it into God's territory. So the devil will try to attack us any way possible. And if you think about it, we're going up against this very powerful force that no human or mortal power can stop except through God's power. And he attacked us quite a bit on that mission trip. I know he attacked me, and so yeah, the biggest lesson I learned is do your devotions every day, keep a constant connection with God.
Lucifer was one of the most important angels in heaven. He was the leader of the heavenly choir, and he was practically next to Christ in terms of rank. This is the confusing part. Lucifer began to get jealous of Christ, God's son. The weird part is that Lucifer had been created a perfect being in a perfect world, and he had been there for who knows how long. So where did the jealousy spark? No one knows. It's called the mystery of iniquity.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
But that's still the core of the issue, even today. Reputation. Why would God let bad things happen to good people? Is he really fair? Why is he doing this? People question God and misunderstand his character. So Lucifer rebelled. It wasn't obvious at first because, hey, in a government that powerful, with the whole universe watching, who would want to challenge the God of the universe? So Lucifer played it down low and started spreading the jealousy around. He began questioning if God's government was really fair. He let doubt take over and hurt his image of God. So the entire rebellion probably wasn't just an overnight conflict. Things like that take serious time. God didn't just see the rebellion in Lucifer and his followers and just kick them out of heaven. He did everything he could to save them. Jesus had conversations with Lucifer, trying to work out the issues with him, but Lucifer wouldn't have it. A physical battle was imminent. It was only a matter of time, if time as we know it works there. Point is, war broke out. If you think that the coolest sci-fi stuff that Hollywood can come up with is epic, then you can imagine how massive that battle must have been. Of course, God's side won. I mean, God never loses.
And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven.
This was the first time anything like this had ever happened in the history of the universe. Sin had been introduced, and its deadly poison was about to take its most destructive effect. It was the time for the creation of a new planet. God and his Son had been in the process of designing this world. You see, Earth is a special place. Do you know why? It's because man is created in God's image. We were designed to reflect his character and to be in close communication with him. But sin came in and messed it up.
So God created man in his own image.
There were two trees in the Garden of Eden. One was the tree of life. Adam and Eve could eat from that tree as much as they wanted. The second tree was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. What does the name mean? It sounds like you gain knowledge from it. In a way, Adam and Eve did. They learned what it was like to be sinful, and that's something that they wish they'd never learned. God put the tree in the garden so that Adam and Eve could choose their own master. He wants his creation to give him true love. If each of us were programmed to only serve him, we wouldn't serve him because we love him. We would serve him because that's all we had ever known. God gave man the choice. Each and every day, he's knocking at the door of your heart, asking to come in. He leaves it up to us to let him. He could break down the door and bust his way in, but instead, he knocks. We are the ones that have to let him in.
When Satan fell, he planted a seed of doubt in the angels and other beings' minds. He put a question mark on God's reputation. And even though Satan is banned from heaven now, these seeds of doubt remain. God is showing the contrast between Satan and himself to the whole entire world. He's revealing Satan's true identity. That's why he didn't just kill Satan. If he had done that, it would have looked like God had something to hide. Of course he doesn't, so he allows Satan to live until every heart is turned against him and all realize the truth. Have you ever wondered why God created a world in which he knew sin and suffering would take over? He knew the consequences, but he decided to take the risk. The reason? He thought you were worth the pain. He knew the joy in loving you, even if you didn't love him back.
That to him would be reason enough to call his whole world into existence. God wouldn't create us as robots, so he gave us a choice to follow him or to follow self. So then why are we still here on earth? Why don't we just go home? Well, unfortunately, not everyone has heard the story of God's love and made a decision to follow him for themselves. God is waiting on us to tell them. It's our responsibility. We really have no excuse not to finish it. We have all the means necessary: media, internet, the Bible, the most important of all, a direct connection to God, the Father, through Jesus Christ. So why aren't we doing anything? That's a question only you can answer. Only you can make the decision to do something. Choose you this day whom you will serve. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
I really hope it's gonna float because it'd be really sad.
I really hope it's
spent
gonna
so much
float.
time building it, and it was really fun.
It's in the water. Wait, here she comes.
There's a boat right there.
Let's go to the seahorses thing.
Chase them! Let's go!
It's over. We're through. Finals are complete, and the first hello is about to become the last goodbye of high school. We don't know what the future holds, and some of us may move far away, die, or never meet up with our old classmates again. But even though we're far apart, we're all still on the same road. These years have built us. Who we are, what we do, a large amount of it was molded and solidified here. So it's not time to look back with regrets or wishes. It's time to focus ahead, because we have a goal to reach. And once we reach it, then we'll have our reunion. Now we press on, because even though this is the end, in many ways, it's only the beginning.